Okay, so Western Moria. Let's kick it off straight away. We'll let the loading screen play out. So you're gonna get this cutscene. Okay, so get through this cutscene. And then as you go up these stairs, I always tend to look at stats. So we'll quickly show what I'm gonna do. So Spirit on Idriel, Strength on Berethor, Strength on Hadhod, and Strength on Elegost. Very straightforward. Okay, don't worry about equipping any new items at this point. You don't need to, because we're about to go into another fight against the Watcher in the Water. It somehow managed to find itself inside Moria now. This fight is basically the same as the other one. I'm just going to quickly turn the game down in my headphones because it's really loud. So if you've watched the previous region tutorial, you'll know how this is going to work. So Berethor, use Company Might. Then Hadhod and Elegost, you can use Flaming Fury and Creature Bane, and then swap out Berethor for Idriel and do Loud Water Fury. So, fairly straightforward. So, nothing more to it. Literally, that is literally all you do. So we'll skip ahead. Again, yeah, if you run out of AP as Elegost, just use normal attacks. Don't worry about refilling it, because it's just pointless, because you probably kill it before you get a chance to use it. Okay. So, get some experience. You get some experience from that. Now time to equip stuff. So, as Idriel, you're equipping anything that's new, basically. So just equip all new items. The Elfstone of Nimble Crafting you'll never actually use, but if you get a chance, just put it on Elegost. But yeah, just equip anything new for all 4 party members. And also giving Elegost more armor there is probably a good idea. Elegost has the weakest armor in the game, so it's probably a good idea to give him some armor. Stats again: Spirit on Idriel, Strength on Berethor, Strength on Hadhod, Strength on Elegost. Same as before. This part is exactly the same, so nothing special. Don't worry about these chests; you don't need them. Definitely don't go for that chest because you'll trigger a fight. Which is actually it's a side quest, so don't worry about it. And as you get through here, you're going to go and try and cross the bridge. Don't worry about saving the game because it's just slow. And you'll trigger the first Goblin Shaman fight. So these guys have magic. They can actually hit you with fire. So we're going to try and avoid that. So also, a side note as well is something that the world record does that I don't do here is before this fight, swap out Idriel for Elegost. So not in the fight, but as you're like free roaming, pick Elegost because it's nice to give him some extra health because you'll get health and upgrades for leveling up. Here you can do kind of one of two things. So depending on the order, so there's a couple things you can do here. So let me get a pen quickly. So if Elegost goes first, you want to do aim shot. If Idriel, actually, let me just clear that a second. So if Elegost goes first, you want to do aim shot. As Idriel, do Loud Water Fury. If Hadhod gets a turn like you did there, you can either use Goblin Bane if you've got it, which I think you do by default, or you can use Dwarven Cleave. You don't need to worry about swapping to Berethor during this. Also, nice click. You'll get a cutscene straight after, which kind of like, it's a little bit of a story mission, so it tells you what to do next. We're going to go and find the Mithril Pit. Okay, just walk around. Don't add anything or anything. Don't add any like upgrades or anything like that. And you're going to reach a goblin and a warg. These goblins actually are quite deadly, so if they do a leaping slash, it pretty much gets a critical hit every time. which will come into play here. But we'll get to this fight. So at first, you want to focus on the goblin. So allow Water Fury on the goblin will one-hit it. So get rid of him. Elagos then uses Creature Bane. And then you can do Dwarven Cleave to almost kill it. I think it's very close to death. And then just do another Creature Bane if you need to get rid of it. I actually get a critical hit there, which is actually not where you want the critical hit because it didn't really help. Because even a standard hit would have killed it at that point. Right, okay, so there's actually 2 fights in this split, but the first one is actually quite quick. So as you go up here, there's a couple of things you'll want to do. So as you go up these stairs, you'll notice how the levels are split. Also, this is like hang on, let me just draw on here so you can see. So this is like level 1, this is level 2, and you've got level 3 up here. So if we play on, you'll see what I do. So level 2, go to the right and get this chest because it has Morgul Decay in it. A lot of this run is built around getting items for later on in the game, and Morgul Decay, you need about 10. And you don't get them a lot. So you have to like go out of your way to make sure you get them. And then come in here because you'll get Leaves of Voltobia and Leaves of Lembas. You can go without, I think. Like, I don't think it's that big of a deal, but just for safety, I would always pick it up because if you find yourself low later on, it's gonna prove quite difficult. So you reach the crossroads. So you'll get an objective here, like a scene, because this is where the Fellowship kind of stopped when Gandalf didn't know where to go. And what you want to do is the order you want to go around is right, middle, left. So we're going to go around from right to left. So as you come out, you should enter this area, and there should be a save point to your left. Just make sure that like things are like leveled up. Give Elagos any upgrades. So make sure you've got like everything equipped, basically. I also check skills here, so it's a good chance to show off what I mean when in the other video. So like when I go into Rangercraft here, you'll see like aim shot is almost done because that's done because that's the one you get by default. Piercing Might is 1 away, so I have to hit 1 more aim shot to unlock Piercing Might. Then I'll need Pierce Will. And then this is where it branches off. So you see you got these different levels. So you've got like, this is 1 level, this is another level. You only need to unlock 1 of these to unlock the next one down. It's kind of a bad example here because like these are the ones we actually unlock, like these 2. It's Bowcraft that you need to like keep an eye out for more than anything else. But essentially, if I unlocked Arrows of Sleep, I could then pick Cursed Arrow or King's Four Grace. You don't need to unlock this. You'll see it more with the other characters later on. But there I actually spent time looking, and then passive skills as well. Like this is level. This is like how many levels. So you see, like Idriel is level 10. Obviously, she's level 1 at the start, so she's leveled up 9 times, and that's why it says 9 out of 10. So once she levels up again, she'll unlock Elven Evade, and then we can pick a new one for her. Yeah, and I was just checking to make sure that I had the right things on. So refer to the list that I put in the first video, so you know which ones you should be learning at what point. So as you come down here, you're going to trigger a fight. And it's actually 2 archers. Oh, sorry, I was wrong. There's only 1 fight in this, so it's just the 2 archers. So just this fight. So this is quite straightforward. So you do aim shot as Elagos. And then when Hadod gets a turn, make sure you swap him out for Berethor because you're going to need Berethor for the next fight. And the problem with this fight, so this 6 goblins fight, when you start that fight, you cannot swap out your characters because they're surrounded. So whichever characters you end this fight with, you have to go into this fight with. And Hadod doesn't help that fight. Berethor really does because he can do Company Might. So as soon as it's Hadod's turn, swap him out for Berethor. And then what you want to do, Barathor, just do Guardian Strike, and that should kill the goblin. Okay. Before this fight, you can go and save. I think if you're doing your first run of this game, I would recommend saving here. Because if you lose this fight, it's game over, and you have to start the game again. You can do what I do here. So I go into it just like making sure people's health and AP is high, but that's because I'm going for top times. If you're just looking to get through it, I would go and save. The problem with saving, though, is that you have to go back up the stairs, save it, come back down, and go all the way around. So you do lose a bit of time doing that. And for me, if I died during that fight, I would reset anyway, so there's no point for me to save. So you'll trigger a cutscene where you hear the Fellowship in Balin's tomb. I thought I'd let you hear that voice line. And so these guys actually see the Balrog first. So obviously the Fellowship haven't seen the Balrog yet, but the Balrog's here. So the Balrog destroys the bridge, so we have to go back. Right after this fight, after that cutscene, this is where the fight starts. So we end up with, let me just get like a wide view. Let's see what I mean. Like these guys do like leaping slash, and they'll do critical hits every time. Like it's a guaranteed crit, which is super annoying. You want them to do Goblin Thrust because that is the one that's less dangerous, even though it still does quite a bit of damage here. So you can see why this fight is so risky, because like I've lost pretty much like over half of my health on Elagos and Barathor already, and I haven't even had a turn yet. So you'll see what you've got here is 6 of these guys. So you need to turn the tide in your favor quickly. Elagos should always go first because he's the fastest out of your 3 characters. So what you want to do is straight away go into perfect mode and do arrow volley. He'll only target the 2 that's in front of him, but it does enough damage to kill them. So you've already killed 2 of them, which helps a lot. Then you can do Loudwater Fury as Idriel, and that will kill the 3rd one. So now it's 3 on 3. So it's a lot fairer. Not sure why I do Shattering Strike there, but just you can do that, or you can do Guardian Strike. Okay, so they get some turns. They do Goblin Thrust. If you need to at any point, you can just use items to keep people's health, and you should be okay. Also, you'll have an extra option on the menu in this this fight. So like, you would have seen it there. It's called Wheel About. So you can only attack enemies that are in front of that person. So you'll need to like rotate in the circle to be able to attack everyone. So you want to use Aim Shot as Elagos, because again, that will be enough to kill it. That's the same one I hit the Shattering Strike with, by the way, as Barathor. So like you can do it that way, it's fine. You can use Guardian Strike or you can use Shattering Strike. Like there's not much difference between the 2 really. And here, do another Wheel About. And when you're Idriel, if there's a goblin that's already been hit, but one that hasn't, target the one that hasn't been hit, so he's on full health, because this will one-shot. There's no point wasting a one-shot on a goblin that's already been damaged. You might as well take out the one that's not, because then you can just do this. So you can Wheel About again. And then Guardian Strike. He's not quite dead, but fortunately he targeted Idriel, so it was actually not too bad. And then you can Wheel About as Elagos. And Aim Shot. I mean, this does kill him. So, I mean, that's why I would recommend as a new runner to save the game. Because this fight is really risky. But you do get quite a lot of XP for it, so like everyone should level up, apart from Hadod, who wasn't in the fight. Oh yeah, that's a good thing to mention as well, is if you don't use a character in a fight, I'm gonna try and see if I can catch it. Don't know if you saw that, but if you don't use a character in a fight, they get half of the XP. So everyone who's in the fight got 16,384, whereas Hadad got 7,680 because he didn't have a turn. That's because of that. This split is 3 fights. So I split this up because they're really quick fights. But basically what you're going to end up with is these guys. So it's only going to be swords and archers in these 3 fights. To kind of just explain how this fight's going to work, these fights are going to work, because it's all the same. Adriel targets these guys with loud water. You can then swap out Berethor for Hadad. So if I just let this play out. Yeah, you can also target them with their Alagos as well if you want to. But get rid of the sword guys first, because they're more deadly. Adriel could then get rid of the archers as well. So it kind of depends on how you want to play this. You don't have to do this, but I'd recommend it. Target the sword guys first because of the leaping slash. But Loudwater Fury, Guardian Strike, Aim Shot, and Goblin Bane as Hadad is what you want to go for here. That's one fight. You'll get immediately to the next one. Loudwater Fury. I actually made a mistake. Like this is 2 archers, so it doesn't make a difference. And then Aim Shot should get rid of it. I actually got a double crit there, which is quite good. Just check people's health here as well, because you probably haven't had a chance to. You might have just leveled up, so just make sure people's AP are good. Like I should have given Elagos higher things there, because like Elagos comes into this fight now with like no AP. So I can't use Aim Shot right now. But instead what you can do, you can just swap out for Hadad and then just do Goblin Bane. Why didn't I do Goblin Bane? Yeah. Okay, that's why, because he was going to hit anyway. Also there, you'll see I learned Cleaving Wound. Cleaving Wound's really good for later on. There you go, and Loudwater Fury, the archer. Right, there's not much to those fights. Just make sure you target the sword guys first, if you have one. So once you get past here, this is like the first fight, apart from this 6 goblin fight, where you'll fight more than 3 enemies. I believe. Yeah. So you got 2 wargs and you got 2 goblins. The goblins are only archers, so it's not overly bad. So what you want to do is you want to target the wargs first. And it's exactly the same as what we did back in the first region. Apart from one minor exception. So what you can do is... Okay, maybe target it is... Okay. It's hard to explain this fight because it's actually... There's quite a lot going on. So you want to kind of divide the party. So you want to kind of draw a line here. So obviously the other archer here. So we'll put GA for Goblin Archer. He's here. You've got Adriel who can one-shot these guys. So you want to use Adriel on these guys. And just use Loudwater Fury to kill them off. Hadad, if you've unlocked it, like I just unlocked it. If you haven't unlocked it, don't worry. You can hit these guys at the wargs. Use Cleaving Wound. What Cleaving Wound does, it sets them on fire. And each turn, they'll take extra damage. You can then do one of 2 things. In fact, I'd recommend doing this. Swap out Berethor and bring in Elagos and use Creature Bane. That's a really bad B, but you get my point. So that's kind of how you want to do that fight, is use Adriel to focus on the archers, use Hadad and Elagos to focus on the wargs. Once these guys are dead, then do Loudwater Fury on these guys. So, so we'll do this like first, then you do this second. So I hope that makes sense. But basically, these 2 characters focus on these. Adriel focuses on the archers. Don't do that. Just swap out Berethor at that point. I made a mistake. I should have swapped him out. Also here, like, the chances of Hadad hitting a Goblin Archer are seriously low because they're so much faster than him. If you try and melee attack an archer, it's rarely going to work. So here we are. That's what you should do. Do cleaving wound on the warg. I need to run this game again because apparently I'm not doing the right things in this run. So yeah, then you can start targeting these guys. I don't know why I don't swap out Berethor for Elagost unless he didn't have the AP, but I doubt that would be the case. So yeah, like, don't do that. Do what I showed you before, because I mean I lost time on here for a reason. Don't worry about that chest. I grabbed it because I wasn't sure what was in the chest, so you don't need to go for that. Okay, so this time it's basically the same fight, but this time there's only one warg rather than two, so it's exactly the same principle. So Idriel targets these guys. Berethor, like, you can go with Berethor in this fight. Like, there's no big deal to do so. Let's just see how I play this out. Yeah, okay, I go for the archer. That's probably not the best idea. So how I would do this fight now is swap out Berethor straight away to bring in Elagost. Use Elagost to do Creature Bane on the warg. Sorry for the really bad handwriting here. Then use Idriel to do Loud Water Fury on the archer. Then Hadod, you can do two things. So you can either do Cleaving Wound on the warg, or you can do Goblin Bane on the archer. Like I said before, though, they might just dodge. So I also, sorry for that bad handwriting there, but I would focus on this. So this is what I would go for. I would focus on the warg as Hadhad now, and let Idriel take care of the archers. So there you go. I actually do bring in Elagost here for Hadhad, and I do Creature Bane to finish off the warg. Also, the side benefit of that was they all got the same sort of XP. Okay, here we're going to start checking skills. So passive skills were still not fully unlocked. So you'll see. Can I get into the menu? Like, Idriel is level 14. So she still needs to unlock level up 2 more times to get to level 16 before these unlock. So this is a good thing to check. So these will unlock at level 16 for Idriel, which is what you want to keep an eye out for. Same thing here. So just make sure you've got the right skills equipped. So Berethor, Counterattack Company Valor. Again, just basing it off this. That one as well. So Arrow Flurry and Pierce Will. You might as well go for that because Pierce Will is a mandatory one. And then yeah, I saved the game here, so I get everything back. Also, because like the fights you're about to go into can be really annoying, so having full health and everything there quickly was okay. Sometimes it makes sense to save the game over doing items, but again, that's completely up to you. So that's the right side done. So that's the right tunnel. Now we're going to go into the middle. So come out here, immediately turn right. You'll kind of see where you want to go. Like, just follow this map, basically. And you'll come out to this room. So before you even enter this Bridge Goblin fight, put all Spirit on Idriel, all Strength, and half Strength, half Dexterity on Berethor. And then the same thing for Elegost. And then you want to put, if you have 6 unlocked as Hadad, put 4 on Strength, 2 on Dexterity. So this fight is straightforward. It is literally 1 Shaman. So I use Guardian Strike because I'm still contemplating the fact that I still need to unlock sword attacks for Berethor because he's most important later on. And Idriel will have a chance anyway, but aim shot as Elegost, and that takes care of him. Again, if Idriel was to go first, just do Loud Water Fury. So, easy fight. Next, we're going to get introduced to a new type of enemy, which is the Stunners, the Goblin Stunners. Go for that chest, it's got Dwarven Ale in it, which is a really good item, because it gets rid of any negative effects. Yeah, make sure Elegost has action points for this fight. So this fight, you have... It's very This is a very adapting fight. So you've got 2 stunners, and you've got one of these leaping guys. How you play this depends on what these guys do. So the chances are they are going to go first because they're super fast. If these guys do stunning blades, they are going to stun a character, and that means they cannot have a turn. So you might need to think about how you're going to play this. If you get Berethor, use Company Might. Because this will basically mean that you one-shot each one. And target the stunners first. I cannot stress that enough. Target the stunners. So Elegost used Aim Shot, Loud Water Fury. I think I misclicked there. I did. I was supposed to target the stunner. But fortunately, I get lucky and I get a critical hit. But make sure you target the stun guys first. So do better than me, basically. Okay, so Elegost Bow is quite a straightforward fight. So it's literally this chest here that we're going to. But before we can get it, it's going to trigger a fight. So there's no warning on this fight. It just happens. But this is quite straightforward. So we've got a warg and 2 archers. So similar to what we were doing before. So Adriel focuses on the goblins. Creature Bane with Elegost on the warg. Swap out Hadad, bringing Cleaving Wound to hit the warg with. And you can see how much health Hadad has right now, by the way. That's how much he's a tank in this. There you go. A Creature Bane and a Cleaving Wound, and then wait a turn, and the warg should die. And then, depending on who goes first, so I get Elegost, so I just use Creature Bane because I'm also trying to unlock extra stuff for Elegost. And then you do Goblin Bane as Hadad. Because like you want to upgrade this as much as you can for Elegost, because Elegost stuff later on, you need Crippling Shot for, and it's important to get it. So once you get this bow, also don't misclick there. You want to equip anything new here. So after you've got Elegost bow, it's a good chance to equip everything for everyone. So if it's like higher than what you've already got, equip it basically. You're gonna trigger another fight. So this is 3 wargs. So again, similar to what we had before. So I'm actually gonna swap out to Berethor here and do Company Might. Because this is a good chance to upgrade it. There you go. I've learned Company Valor already. So now I'm going to be on to learn Stand Fast. So this fight is very straightforward. Every time Hadad gets a turn... sorry, let me just do this, because this is how I do it now. Obviously, this run may be a little bit outdated. So if Hadad gets a turn, Cleaving Wound each of them. So Hadod alternates between them all. The other guys focus on one at a time. So Elagost uses Creature Bane. With Berethor's Company Might, you kill it in one shot. So now what you do is you can Cleaving Wound 1. And then with it should kill it, actually. I forgot about Company. It might be that powerful. So Cleaving Wound will kill it. And then Berethor can focus on this guy. Oh yeah, and then I realized that I didn't have the AP, so I just do a regular attack instead. And bang, he's dead. So that was quite well done, actually. So you have kind of two options with that fight. You can do the Cleaving Wound strat, or you can do Company Might. Company Might strat will mean you get less upgrades because you hit them only once. But if you do Cleaving Wound, then you'll probably hit like +3. Again, stats. So Spirit on Idriel, Strength on Berethor, Strength on Hadod, and then Strength on Elagost. So just keep it simple. So as you go into this room, you're going to... Yeah, that's what I mean by... So Stand Fast will automatically select itself at this point. So once you've unlocked Company Valor, it will default to the one on the left. So that's the one you want. It grants party immunity for all stunning effects for the full duration of the fight. Unless they die. So once you trigger this fight, this is going to be an archer and a stunner. Actually, is that a stunner? I may have misnamed that. That's not actually a stunner, I don't think, but we'll carry on. Yeah, that's not a stunner. It's a leaper, so I need to rename that. So yeah, so this fight's actually quite straightforward. So aim shot the sword guy, so same as before. Focus on the sword guy first. And then Idriel can just do Loud Water Fury to take out the archer. So as you enter the throne room, you're going to trigger this cutscene. And this fight, like, it's quite straightforward. So you've got this guy who's like he's like a mage, but he's like a bit different. He's got different animations. And then you've got a sword guy, and you've got an archer. So Company Might is a good start. Because once we have Stand Fast, we're going to kind of stop doing it. Because that's all we really need. So aim shot. Again, don't do what I did. I suppose it didn't matter. But the mage is like the super most powerful one. Does this one shot? No, it doesn't. That's why I say don't go for that. So what I should have done there is the aim shot and the Loud Water Fury. I should have done both of them on the mage because that would have killed him. So now he's going to like have a turn, and you can see how slow this animation is. He gets a second turn, which then he restores some of his health. It's not enough to keep him alive, but it's still annoying. There you go, and I hit him again, and it's like this fight gets dragged out because I mess it up, and he just instantly restored the health again. So yeah, so when you start this fight, make sure Elagost and Idriel just take this guy out. Because the archer is a lot less deadly than he is. And then this guy, I probably should have swapped out to Hadod here, but I get lucky. And I get a critical hit. But what I should have done there really is probably bring in Hadod and do a Goblin Bane. Okay, so very important. Once this fight's over, you're gonna get this cutscene. It's quite a long cut. It's actually quite a long cutscene. Okay. So. Okay. This was bad of me. This was really bad because this run actually like really struggled in Pelennor Fields. So when this fight's over, come behind the right side of the throne. So over here, there's a chest here, which has a Morgul Decay in it. So get this. Get this chest. I cannot stress it enough. So what you're going to see in the Pelennor Fields part of this run is a really slow Pelennor Fields because I get there and I don't have enough Morgul Decay. So I have to do certain fights without it, which means trouble. So get that chest. Okay, so as you're leaving, you're going to trigger a fight with 2 wargs and an archer. Again, it's the same as every fight where we've had a warg and archer. Like we had it literally like when we were escaping from the like where the Balrog, we first saw the Balrog. Creature Bane, the wargs. Berethor can take out whatever warg you hit with the Creature Bane. Adriel hit the archer with Loudwater Fury. And rinse and repeat. There you go, I learned Arrow Flurry as well, which is really good. So there you go, that's that fight. Also I learned counterattack, so I learned 2 abilities in one fight there. Okay. So, cross the bridge. Do I check stats here? Or do I just check the low? Okay, yeah, so just do a quick check and make sure health and action points are fine. Okay, and as you about to leave the fight, what you're going to end up with is a fight you can't skip. Very easy fight, because once again, it's an archer and, wait for it, another archer. Hang on, let me just, there you go. Come on. There, okay. So 2 wargs, 2 archers. Same as before, Idriel focuses on these guys, so split them in half again. Elagos focuses on these guys. And then you got 2 options. So because of the power difference now, you can either do Creature Bane on these guys, and if it doesn't kill them, you can use Berethor and do Guardian Strike. Or if you want to unlock more things for Hadod, like Crippling Smash, just bring him in and do Cleaving Wound or Dwarven Cleave. But basically, split the difference. So the guys focus on the wargs, Idriel focuses on the goblins. Same attacks as before as well. So Creature Bane, Loudwater Fury, Guardian Strike. Okay. So once you've done in here, you can go through the left side. Now we're actually going to go to the end of Western Moria, so we're actually almost done with Western Moria now. And you're going to basically keep following the path. You're going to walk into this area. Ignore that chest. It's just one of the runes for the side quest. So ignore these markers. Make sure stats are all increased. So again, Spirit for Idriel, Strength for Elagos, Strength for Hadod, and Strength for Berethor. You're going to trigger a fight with 3 more wargs. So you can kind of see where this is going to go. Same thing as before. So Elagos. I actually messed up here, so you see I didn't give Elagos AP, so check AP before this fight. So do Loudwater Fury, you can do Guardian Strike. In hindsight, what I should have done here is just swap out Idriel and bring in Hadod, because he does more damage. But it's not the end of the world, because you need to unlock more for Idriel than you do for Hadod, so it kind of makes sense in a way. So it's completely up to you. And then Creature Bane. Like, it's that easy. It's a simple fight. Once you're done here, like, don't go like this side, because there's a fight over here that will trigger with 3 more wargs. Just go straight to the door, which is here. Now we're approaching literally the end of this, so you want to go for this chest, because it's got a what's the word? You'll see it. So first of all, you're going to end up in this fight. So you've got 2 wargs and a stunner. So the first thing to do is get rid of the stunner. One aim shot is good enough to kill it at this point. This is why Glitchless is so much better. Because we'd have skipped a lot of this, like a lot of the fights, so we wouldn't be able to do this. Idril, Loud Water Fury. Because that's a one-shot now. Because of the stats increase. Berathor Guardian Strike, because I'm trying to unlock Berathor's like Citadel Rage as quick as I can. Because it's such a good attack. There you go. And there you go. That's the counter-attack coming into play. So the Warg attacked Berathor, and then I got a free hit, which killed it. I was actually a little bit annoyed at that, because if he does that and he kills them, you don't get like a point for it. So it's really, really bad, in my opinion. So once you're done here, pick up this. It's got a an item in. So equip the new item for Idril. Alright, just check these as well. Okay, check this as well. So at this point, because I've unlocked Arrow, let me just quickly see if I can pause it in the right thing here. There. So once you've unlocked Arrow Flurry, you'll see how like these unlock, even though. So by default, the game will put you on the same level. So it will go like that. It will only then go, it'll basically do this sort of motion. Like if you don't change it manually, it will do this. That's how it will work the upgrades. We don't want that because it's like this is not needed. That's a bonus. So the second you learn Arrow Flurry, you just want to go straight to Crippling Shot. Because that's the one you need. And then you need to do 30 successful Bowcraft attacks to unlock it. I also check passive skills there. So the one we're trying to get, let me just do it there. So the one we're trying to get to is Sleep Volley, but you can see how far down it is. So what you need to do is you can leave it on Hands of the Bowman because that's kind of fine. Because also it's actually quite good as well. It does that. It increases the accuracy. You then want to do Frenzy. Is it Frenzy? Spirit of the North, quite good. So you can do Spirit of the North. Can't remember what it does actually. But then you want to get to Sleep Volley. Same thing here. Just check all those. Just keep following that thing I showed you in the first one. So make sure that if you've got like the next one in the list ready to unlock, that you equip it. Like here, I'm checking it again because I realized that I have this available. So get Aura of the Valor done quickly. See, I actually lose a lot of time here because I was messing around with that. Okay, so basically the same fight as the first one, but this time instead of a stunner, we've got an archer. So now Elagos focuses on the wargs. Idril can take out the other warg. Oh, well, not quite. Probably should. Also there, what I should have done really is when it's Idril's turn, I should have looked at this. So because the order is shown here, I should have realized the archer is going to go next. So if I take out the archer, it will just skip that turn. Obviously, you can go straight to Berathor. But it didn't really make much of a difference. I lose like quite a bit of time on this split, but it's not the end of the world. And yeah, then I do aim shot. I got a triple crit. Wow, I didn't realize. Okay. Don't worry about equipping anything at this point, because Balanced Tomb is actually a very straightforward fight. So you might get to go first here. It's a bit random. We're still not 100% sure how this works, but you might go first here. But if you don't, it's not a big deal. So you want to wait until either Elagos or Hadod gets the turn. For me, it'd be Elagos because he's the one that's in my party. Like I'm losing time because I'm just not going first. You just then want to do arrow volley. There is a chance as well that this guy, who's a shaman, he might survive. But if he does survive, he'll be with like minuscule health. But just do perfect mode arrow volley because it'll hit all 5 of them. And that is East Moria done. Sorry, West Moria done. So now we'll be going into East Moria. So I will do that in another video. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Just for reference as well, in case you are watching this first, this is the list of skills that you want to unlock. But I'll leave a link to the first part in the description. I'll also make a playlist of all the tutorials so you can follow episode by episode. Hopefully, I'll have these all out like very quickly. So because I'm actually really enjoying doing this. But yeah, hope you guys are finding it useful. Again, any questions at all about anything in the run, just drop them in the comments. I will do my best to answer them. I'll leave a link to the speedrunning Discord as well in the description, so you can come on there. We have a whole channel for this run, so you can ask any questions that you want me to answer. But yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed. I'll catch you all next time. But until then, bye.